Was humanity born in peace, only to be corrupted by civilization? Or is there a darker, more ancient story written in our bones? For a long time, we've liked to tell ourselves a comforting tale that our distant ancestors lived in harmony, and that war, violence, and cruelty are recent inventions, products of cities, states, and greed. But the hard evidence, unearthed from the dust of millennia, tells a very different story. Let's travel back 10,000 years to a place called Naturuk, near Lake Turkana in Kenya. Here, under a late Pleistocene sun, archaeologists found a scene of breathtaking brutality. The scattered skeletons of at least 27 men, women, and children. Skulls weren't just fractured. They were crushed. An obsidian arrowhead was found lodged in one man's chest. Another skeleton, a pregnant woman, was discovered face down, her hands possibly bound. This wasn't a family dispute or a random crime. The evidence, as analyzed by archaeologists Martin Miraz and Lar, points to a coordinated, systematic massacre. An entire group of people, wiped out by another. This is, by any honest definition, war. What makes Naturuk so profoundly unsettling is its timing. This happened before the rise of cities, before agriculture took root in the region, before the invention of riding or standing armies. These were hunter-gatherers, living the life we so often romanticize as simple and pure. The dead of Naturur shattered the myth of a peaceful Eden. They show us that organized, lethal violence between groups isn't a modern corruption. It's one of humanity's oldest, darkest traditions. For centuries, philosophers have debated our state of nature. Thomas Hobbes famously described it as a war of all against all, a life that was solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Later thinkers, like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, pushed back, imagining a noble savage living in blissful harmony before being corrupted by the chains of society, property, and power. It's a beautiful idea, but archaeology has been unkind to it. Naturuk isn't a lone outlier. At Jebel Sahaba, a 13,000-year-old cemetery in Sudan, nearly half the skeletons show signs of violent death, riddled with arrow points. In Tauheim, Germany, a pit from 7,000 years ago holds the remains of 34 people, all killed by blows to the head, a clear sign of a Neolithic massacre. The prehistoric record, once we look closely, is stained with blood. And it's not just human history. Look at our closest living relatives, chimpanzees. For a long time, we saw their fights as chaotic squabbles. But long-term studies have revealed something far more chilling. Male chimpanzees form patrols. They methodically walk the boundaries of their territory, and if they find a lone individual from a rival group, they will isolate, attack, and kill them. These aren't random brawls. They are coordinated raids. It's an unsettling mirror of human tribal warfare. Now, some might point to bonobos as a counterexample. They are just as closely related to us as chimps, but are famous for being more peaceful, resolving conflicts with social bonding rather than violence. But this doesn't prove our own innate innocence. Bonobos evolved in a unique environment, one rich in resources with few predators. Their peace is a product of abundance. Human evolution, for the most part, was not so lucky. Our story is one of scarcity, competition, and constant pressure. In that kind of world, two traits evolve side by side: intense cooperation within your group and lethal aggression toward outsiders. This isn't to say that civilization made things better. It just changed the scale. The agricultural revolution, as historian Yuval Noah Harari explains, didn't invent war, but it supercharged it. For the first time, humans were tied to land. We had fields that could be conquered, granaries that could be looted, and surpluses that could feed armies. War became a more profitable and therefore more common enterprise. Jared Diamond points out that humanity's greatest trick isn't just violence, but our unique ability for large-scale cooperation. We can unite millions of strangers under a common flag, a shared god, or a national identity. This is the engine of civilization. It builds pyramids and sends people to the moon. But it's also the engine of industrial-scale slaughter. Culture didn't erase our violent instincts. It gave them new tools, grander justifications, and a terrifying efficiency. So why does the myth of a peaceful past persist? Because it's comforting. It lets us off the hook. It allows us to believe that violence is an external problem, something caused by bad systems, corrupt leaders, or dangerous ideologies. If we could just fix the system, we could return to our natural, peaceful state. But the evidence, from our bones to our genes to our history books, suggests something more complicated. The truth is that peace is not our default setting. It's a fragile, hard-won achievement. The archaeological and historical records don't show constant war, but they do show a constant readiness for war or latent capacity that flares up whenever fear, scarcity, and ambition align. The line from the obsidian arrowheads at Nataruk to the drone strikes of the 21st century is terrifyingly direct. The military strategist Karl von Clausewitz famously wrote that war is the continuation of politics by other means. But maybe we can take it a step further. Politics is the continuation of survival by collective means. And survival, in the grand story of life on Earth, has never been gentle. Civilization didn't corrupt a peaceful species. It took an animal already capable of organized violence and gave it ideology, bureaucracy, and technology. It refined our ancient instincts, scaled them up, and unleashed them on a level our hunter-gatherer ancestors could never have imagined. The past doesn't offer a golden age of peace to return to. It offers a warning that the capacity for war is baked into our story, and that maintaining peace requires constant vigilance, empathy, and a clear-eyed understanding of who we really are. Thanks for watching. If this made you think, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the human story.